What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here of Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast here on a Sunday morning, 6:53 a.m. to be exact, November 22nd. Thanksgiving week is on the way here, gentlemen. A lot to get into sports-wise, a lot of negativity, a lot of energy. I'm going to have to vent to you guys today, a lot of frustration. It looked like a big week going for the team that Tyler's wearing, and so I definitely think we both want to get into that. But before we do, we got the week 11 to talk about as well. But Tyler, we're almost up to Casey. We're almost up to 30 subscribers now. This is huge, right? We want to thank all 28 right now. What was it? Sharks for Cup. I think we all know who that is. That I saw join the last one. So thank you very much for joining, and hopefully you'll enjoy this episode and thank you for helping me coach 10 years ago. Since you won't answer text messages.
Those were the best times
called
ever.
out.
Hey,
Huh?
I gotta ask though, how'd you like doing that little league? That was like my favorite part, like almost of my lifetime, coaching that team.
Yeah, that was definitely fun. I had to get started some way, and obviously I thought Little League was the easiest way to get started. And I always had this probably unrealistic dream. Not probably, it was unrealistic. It was an unrealistic dream of leading a team to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, or something like that. And believe it or not, I probably would have never had a better chance in Mark West history if I did have a team. We actually had a player was drafted top 3. So, but that never came to be. So
what was his name?
At Andrew Vaughn, plays for the Chicago White Sox. So if you want to subscribe as well, that would be a big follower right there. We'll take you as number 29 though, for sure.
You'll count as 2 followers.
You'll count as 2. He'll count as probably 102. So we'll count that up there with it for sure. So, but yeah, so yeah, we just 28 followers rose up to 30. So let's just keep it going. Just thanks for the people that have followed out there as well. So look for us out at Fatboy FadeAway on Twitter as well. You can follow us there as well. So, gentlemen, with all that, as Tyler said last week, all that window dressing is now over with. Let's move on to the NBA segment here. We kind of knew after our podcast on Sunday that there was going to be a lot to unravel. Until we met this morning here, there was a lot. We had the signings, we had the draft, and then we had free agency. We still have a few free agents out there, but most of the key free agents have been signed. But before we even get into that, we had some even worse news I know we want to talk about.
Devastating.
And that's Klay's injury, and that's his Achilles injury there. Total downer before the draft. Before Tyler, I got to start with you because I know you're the everybody here loves Klay, but you're the guy that kind of is the most outspoken about him. He's going to miss 30 months probably since the next time you'll see him. So I just kind of want to know, since he is your favorite player, kind of what was your reaction when you heard the news? And then, just how do you feel now about the whole thing?
My first reaction was just devastation. I was like, no, I don't want to go another year without prime Klay. And we may never get another prime Klay year, which
legitimately sad, huh?
Yeah, it just made me everyone's like, oh, I feel bad for Klay. Well, I feel bad for me. I don't get to watch my favorite players. I don't get to watch the Warriors at full strength. That just run of just superior basketball that was exciting to watch. And he was a big part of it, him and Steph, obviously, and Draymond to a lesser extent, but still. And I just feel bad for fans. He's still getting his paycheck, and I feel bad for him as well, but not some people.
Well, it's a mental stress on him.
Yeah, but he's still getting $30 million a year. He'll be just fine.
Okay, but
I'm losing
before we get Casey's thought on it. Let me follow it quickly with that. Even though you said that, what are the it's still his favorite thing to do in the world. He probably still gonna miss that a little bit. Even though he's getting money.
Well, he might prefer sexual intercourse. But
okay, the second most exciting thing for him. You get my point, though.
I'll stop doing this podcast for $30 million a year. My favorite thing to do, but it's not it sucks. It does.
I think it's going to be a little harder on him mentally than maybe you're thinking it will be. Case, what's your thought on the whole injury here? Just kind of like I asked Tyler, just kind of how you're feeling, the disappointment and all that.
Well, man, a lot went into it to me. I'm not going to be as selfish as Tyler and say, you know, it's ruining my life, but to me, it's just like, I don't know, man. It just sucks because it's not just one big injury; it's two. I mean, now it's got his left ACL. He ruptured his right Achilles, and Tyler touched on it. It is his favorite thing to do, but I mean, like, just not being able to do something that you love. I mean, I can't even imagine, like, kind of what you were talking about a little bit, Darren, was like that mental state, like where you wake up and you want to do something and you can't do it physically. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. And,
yeah, like for sure.
And as a Warriors fan, you know, I guess, you know, like we've came, like once you like see someone and like people always like joke, oh, it's just a player, you know, but like when you get to know him, you know, like I've never met him in person, but you can tell he's just genuinely like a hardcore basketball junkie almost. Like he lives and breathes it. And for him to never maybe be able to come back the way he was, you know, kind of like Grant Hill, it you know, it kind of broke my heart because I was just like, I feel for him. You know, you can't do anything. I mean, literally, he won't be able to play for, like you said, like almost a year and a half.
Longer, 30 months.
He's already gone a year and a half
I'm just
without
saying,
playing.
like another year and a half. So that's almost 3 years without doing something that you love. And you know, I think it's going to impact the Warriors more than people might realize. Like, you know, I hear everyone on these ESPN and saying, you know, like the Warriors will never become a dynasty again. It's like, well, I think now that people realize like Klay was actually probably the most, he is the most important player on that team because he did everything. And the fact, and I have to bring this up, it is a fucking joke to me that the writers screwed him over in getting that max deal because they didn't put him on an all NBA team. Like, come on, man. Like,
that was,
you guys not watch? Or
that never made sense to me back then. Yeah, that never made sense at all. You kind of touched on it, Casey, a little bit before. I wanted to ask Tyler about it before we. It was. Do you think Klay, he's the most beloved Warriors out of like, you know, like in other fan bases? It seems like just being on Twitter a little bit more like he's like the one Warrior that like everybody seems to like kind of be okay with. They're not like, they don't like hate him for like, you know, like they do with Steph or Draymond.
Well, he's impossible not to like. Like, I mean, he doesn't like really say anything on the court. He just runs up. I mean, occasionally he'll say something, but and when he does, he has something to say that is actually meaningful. Like he doesn't just complain to complain. It's a breath of fresh air that like everybody can appreciate.
And he kind of plays so differently than everybody else. That's even
he
in
scored
the NBA.
60 points on 11 dribbles. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean that's insane. Totally insane.
37 points in a quarter.
I mean, come on, that was the greatest performance I ever saw there on TV.
And he didn't miss a shot.
I know, and he missed that. And when he got fouled, even maybe was like almost half court, or not half court, but a little farther. How does this affect the Warriors, though? Let's kind of talk about long term a little bit now. So they obviously know this news happens like crazily, like at 3:00, like a little bit before the draft. So it's like this kind of probably total mixed feeling in the front office a little bit, like, oh no, what are we doing? And you're starting to hear on the radio driving home people like, does this mean they draft Anthony Edwards if he's available? You know, they skip on Wiseman, they draft Ball to replace Thompson. It's like, no, you just stick with who you want. You're like literally 2 hours away from the draft. But so let's kind of get into what they had to do. The Warriors end up trading for help me out, Oubre, right? Kelly Oubre from the Thunder. They have to give up a first-round pick or possibly 2 second-round picks based on how their winning percentage falls this year. I mean, I thought it was a nice signing, a nice trade given the situation. I still think he's a nice player. He's only 24 years old. He averaged 19 points a game last year. Obviously, he's not Klay Thompson. He's probably not a finals team because of it anymore, but I just kind of want to get your guys' take on like the Warriors kind of now post Klay injury, knowing what we're ahead of. They draft Wiseman. They draft the guy from University of Arizona, Nico. So, you know, Case, we'll let you go first on this one. You know, with thoughts on the Warriors getting Wiseman, you know, and some of the trades they picked up, and where do you see them, you know, kind of going forward here, staying competitive this year?
Oh, they'll definitely be competitive. I have them as the 5th seed. I don't see them not making the playoffs. For sure, I think that I'm biased, obviously, from the Bay, but I have them at least making the Western Conference Finals. I think they'll be there.
I think it just depends on the matchups once they get to the playoffs at that point, right? Like they could probably beat a few teams, but if they're playing it just depends on matchups at this point because they don't have that advantage anymore.
And it depends on health, obviously, as we know. But I think Wiseman, I was pretty high on Obi Toppin, obviously. I wish they still would have got him, just personally. But
good old Obi.
I get it. I saw some clips from Wiseman. He looks, obviously your number 2 pick for a reason. But I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I do.
David Robinson, right, Tyler?
Yeah. Darko Milicic.
Darko. Stop it. Do not say that.
But no, I think the Warriors will be strong, man. They got a good front office. Bob Myers is, pretty much a freaking genius. And I don't know. I like the Kelly Oubre signing. I
trade.
Think he's gonna be well. You know what I mean, though. Basically,
yeah.
They got him.
Did you know, Casey, that they had to also pay like $66 million more on top of that because of they have
luxury tax?
I'm glad you got into this because
I think it's a good thing.
It was like a month ago, and I was listening to Mr. T. I love him, Rob Brooks, and they're like, I can't imagine, the owners, they bought this new stadium, they got to be hurting. I'm like, hurting?
I know. It's like,
hurting?
Give me a break.
I was like, man, how much money? Like, you got this whole basically economy all jacked up right now, and you're going to complain about these billionaires? I was like, dude, people are lining up for food stamps, for food banks. Like,
well, think about it like this.
But rich people don't like losing money, and they're losing money on that stadium. So
they are losing money,
and they're still willing to put in all this money for Kelly Oubre, like this $66 extra $1 million for Kelly Oubre.
I respect it.
I respect it too. Like
the hat that I'm wearing, these guys, they ain't ever gonna do that.
I totally expect Lacob to build himself a statue because of this. This is a total build yourself a statue movie. No, but it is cool. It is a good move. But like at the same time, it's like these guys are like, the Warriors are worth $4 billion. He bought the team for $440 million. So if you just kind of think about it like that, $1 billion is like 1,000 millions. It's like, it's a lot of money. It's not, it's like 66 million in the grand scheme of things is not for him to be competitive. Isn't that much, but yeah, it's still, it is something most owners wouldn't do. And
most rich people don't like spending money on nothing, basically.
They're not that competitive enough to do that.
How different would the Oklahoma City be if their owner wasn't such a cheap ass and traded James Harden?
Yeah, the Oklahoma City GM getting praised for what he's done is
all the picks.
It's terrible. They had Durant, they had 3 MVPs, Steven Adams and Serge Ibaka, and they don't have any of them now, and they're not going to be competitive. Oh, good job, guy! You got a lot of draft picks.
I know. I'm with you on that. Like somebody said something like they got 8 picks, and like the players they got back.
You had 3 MVPs.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it's kind of like what the Pelicans got right for Holiday and Davis. It's like it's nice, but
they're so competitive. The Thunder are going to be competitive for a couple 5 years.
One of those have to turn into like the top pick and not make a mistake on it either. So
yeah, exactly.
Like the Sixers taking Fultz instead of Tatum. Tyler,
trust the process. Trust the process.
I don't trust the process. I wanted to ask you a question though, because I don't watch much Arizona basketball, and I read a few articles and saw a few highlights of what'd you get? Nico, right? Nico.
Yeah, Nico Mannion.
What do you think of him?
Well, he was like the second-rated point guard coming out of
I saw he was rated pretty high.
Yeah, so I was expecting a little more of him. He seemed more like who was the guy on the 76ers and he went to Arizona as well. Yeah, McConnell. He was more of a role player. I thought he was going to be more like dynamic watching him in college, but I think he'll fill a role as a backup point guard. He can handle. He's a pretty smart guy.
Do you see him as like a G League guy to start out with, or do you think he'll?
Yeah, I don't see him. He got to get a body that's NBA ready and be able to take that beating.
Yeah, I was curious to get your thoughts on him because I'm
not like super high on him, but
a lot of people are like, he's good. I think he's going to actually be like a better version of
Kirk Morris.
No, I think he's going to be a better Marco Bellinelli. I know that sounds like stupid, but I think he's going to be a better Marco Bellinelli.
He looked more like a point guard than Marco was, so I'm not sure. But I mean,
Well,
he looked a little bit.
Marco looked like Rocky.
He did look like Rocky. He did look like Rocky. I thought Marco was going to be Yuri Welsh, one of the Warriors' famous first-round picks there. So with that said, you guys got any other thoughts on the Warriors you wanted to bring up or anything like that? Or other than just the fact that now it just seems like their window is obviously shrinking a little bit more and more. The only advantage they get out of this again is they get to possibly see a guy like Oubre that they could sign if he develops and keep Klay. I mean, there's like these slight little like small things that could benefit out of it.
There's nothing good.
But the grand scheme of thing, it won't. If you miss out on like seeing exceptional basketball for those two guys playing basketball is the best thing the Bay Area has had probably I don't know, since probably our lifetime being here. I
Since
can't think
Joe
of
and Jerry,
which we were well in our diapers for still probably at that point.
shit in our pants.
I think one big thing. I think one big. That's good. I think one good thing that may happen out of this, and I know it's like a slim to none, but I think Eric Paschall, man, he might be sixth man of the year.
Well, if that happens, and the Warriors definitely take a bigger leap, that's for sure. Something like that happens, but I mean, I still think you got guys like Harrell that are probably going to be in the mix now that he's with the Lakers and on better teams. But if he does have the potential to like fill a role like that, I do think that you're on the right page with that. That would be awesome if it happened this year for sure. That would definitely give them the boost they would desperately need from somebody that we're not expecting or seeing right now at all. So,
and one thing, Jordan Poole can't get any worse. So.
that is true. Maybe he could actually make a few shots. Maybe he could actually make a few shots this week. All right, we'll be back with the last 8 questions for the NBA here to wrap up the NBA segment.
Let's do it.
All right, and we're back here with the 8 questions of the week. I'm calling it the 8 questions of NBA Fun Week Bonanza. So look at that title right there. We're just going out. So basically it's 8 random questions, but
that's very creative.
Thank you. We just have to be a little bit more fun with the title there. So, all right. So let's get into it, gentlemen. We got
what a bonanza.
What a bonanza. Here we go. The 8 picks here. 8 questions. What pick, team fit, did you like the most, out of the draft a little bit? So for me, I liked, obviously, the guy I've been giving the most love to. I like Precious to fit the Heat. I feel like his role especially fits that team's mentality the most. And I also think Halliburton he obviously fits what the Kings need. And I think it was like the best kind of team fit with like what they need at that point. Hield, it seems like he's trying to get himself out of Sacramento there. So I'm gonna go with Halliburton and Precious for the best fit there.
My Precious. My favorite pick was what Minnesota did. They didn't mess it up. They took the position they needed, and they got the guy they wanted. And I feel like they didn't overthink it. They didn't try and do something crazy. And I'm proud of Minnesota for doing something that seemed logical for once.
Tyler, did you listen to the guy from I Don't Know Sports podcast this week?
Maybe.
Okay, did you hear him say that he compared Edwards to Chris Dunn?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter, and I laughed
like,
very hard.
I was like,
well, that's how it works out. It was a terrible pick. But
I was like, I don't agree with that, but necessarily Chris Dunn. I
don't think Chris Dunn was 6'5". But
I had to get your thought on that one for sure.
That's really taking a shot at Anthony Edwards.
Definitely, for sure. Case, what about you? What was the best pick fit in the draft?
I wanted to go 2 ways, but I'll just throw it out real quick. Obi Toppin, best player in the draft. Real quick.
Of course, I wrote that down. You probably would say that.
But no, I'm gonna go with the number 3 pick. I think it's kind of cool that LaMelo's back in Charlotte. His dad actually did have a spot on the Carolina Panthers. And now LeVar gets a chance to play one-on-one.
Back representing the Panthers. I love it. LeVar, come on the podcast. Nice
Michael Jordan's going to smack that ass.
That is hilarious. I actually thought that was a good pick.
He's going to bloody his nose.
I actually thought that was a good pick for Charlotte because they didn't go with like your basic like 4-year college guy. They did that with Hayward in the signing, but they at least stayed with. Like,
are we gonna get into that, or
I think at some point we could get that up in this question coming up here. All right, so question number 2 here. All right, we can actually get to it right now. Tyler, we'll let you go first. What signing did you guys find the most interesting? Tyler, go ahead.
I think I'll have to go with Mr. Hayward. People complain about Wiggins' contract. At least he's healthy and never been hurt and puts up numbers. This is a crazy contract for a guy who's not that good. I mean, he's
understandable from the Hornets, though.
$100 million?
Well, I mean, like,
no, it's not. You can't say that's understandable.
It's kind of to me like the Warriors 10 years ago paying David Lee a lot of money.
Yeah,
the money.
David Lee was better than David Lee wasn't coming off an
David Lee's not better than
injury.
Hayward.
He wasn't coming off a catastrophic injury.
I get my point is though, like
that's the big part. If he wasn't coming off an injury, fine. Yeah, that's an okay deal. Yeah, that's okay.
I thought he played in the bubble last year.
Did he play good?
I don't remember.
No,
he played
because he didn't play good. He was terrible.
I think Charlotte will get a chance to be a little bit more like to be back to like the number 1 option. I think he gets a little bit of a bad rap a little bit. I think he's a pretty good player.
He's got a nice haircut.
He does keep his hair very nice. Him and Mario Hezozoza. I don't know how to say his name.
Herzonia.
They have the best hair in the league without a doubt. Casey, what signing did you find the most interesting? Not trade, signing.
You're so bad at pronouncing names. It's hilarious.
I know. I just said it like that because I don't even want to try anymore.
To me, I mean, Chris Paul is the best signing. I mean, I know it's a trade. You guys
that doesn't count. That it's got to be a signing.
It's got to be a signing.
Yep, you can pass if you don't know him.
No, I mean, I think I don't know. To me, it's like a signing and a trade. To me, is almost the same thing.
Well, the next question is going to be what trade did you like the most?
Well, then, no. I don't know.
I pass.
I think the best
you only get to answer one time.
Well, to me, the best signing hasn't happened yet. I think whoever gets Harden or Westbrook is going to be the best signing.
That's a trade again.
That's a trade again. Casey's having a hard time with this concept right now.
Believing and believing.
I don't believe these questions. They're bullshit.
Questions horseshit.
Did he sign up? Are they trading for him? All right, let's go on to the next one.
Pass.
This is where we need editing.
This is good talk though. I had the best signing as Hayward, so it's funny that you had the worst signing as Hayward. I just feel like for that franchise, they need something like that.
Who else got signed?
Huh?
Who else was signed? Let's throw out the list.
Well, I just think Hayward was like the best of the group there that got signed. I mean, what was the other one they had?
Not for $100 million. Maybe he's the best.
Like Van Fleet went to back to Toronto or back to Tampa.
I think Harrell was the best signing.
Yeah, Harrell's not a bad signing. So what do you think? What do you guys think it was the best trade? I think we'll say sign and trade, Casey, for your sake. I think Holiday also going to the Bucks was a good trade for the Bucks. A lot of people kind of thought like they're similar to Bledsoe. Holiday's way better than Bledsoe.
Holiday is under control and can shoot.
I thought Covington going to the Blazers was a good pickup too for the Blazers.
I was going to ask I don't understand what happened with Bogdanovich.
I think
this is a good topic to get into.
I think basically he's a restricted free agent, so he has to agree to the money first before he signs the dotted line, and then they can trade him to another team because that would be a sign and trade. So I think my guess is I kind of think the Bucks jumped the gun, but I bet either the Kings or the Bucks either said yes to something or made it news when like Bogdanovich wasn't even aware of that situation, like knowing he hadn't agreed to it yet, and he's like, well, I can get more money over here. And so Atlanta offers him like $15 more million. And now he's trying to sign with Atlanta. So now Sacramento has to match that offer basically. So I think one of the teams basically just jumped the gun.
Hey, bold prediction. I think Atlanta is going to be probably a 3 seed next year.
3 seed.
Casey, I put Rondo. I forgot. I had Rondo down as a sneaky good signing. I thought as well for Atlanta. I did have that down as well. I think that might go well with Trae Young.
Oh, this is going to be a match made in heaven.
Yeah, because now Trae Young doesn't have to have the ball all the time.
Rondo doesn't shoot, and Trey's like, "Hey, just give me that rock, bro."
But can
Yeah, he
Trey
can
play
run.
off the rock? He's never done it before.
I guess
That's
we'll
a
find out.
different
in
skill set.
Oklahoma.
No, he was a point guard.
Yeah, but he still had the other. I'm blanking on his name, but he was actually a pretty good guard too.
Cousins?
No. What was his name?
Which guy?
I don't know who
From
he's
where?
talking about.
I'm blanking on his name.
From
But he actually had a
Oklahoma.
pretty good. He had a good backcourt mate.
Cousins.
Let's get on to question number 4, since we don't dig ourselves a bigger hole there. What you kind of talked about Harden. What do we make? I'm kind of curious of the Rockets situation. So what do we make of the Rockets blowing this thing up? It seems like the owner has been losing money because he's in the food and hotel business. So it sounds like like you said, he's not every owner is as rich as Joe Lake, of course. So I guess he took a big hit from the COVID thing.
He just sold the UFC for $2.2 billion. He's just fine.
I'm sure he's fine. But like you said, not every owner's in it for the same exact thing. So in terms of spending money to always win. What do you think about the Harden possibility of going to Westbrook? I feel like they kind of have to blow him up in a sense, just to basically move on from him, get him off the team, because him and Harden aren't going to work long term anyways. But what do you think about the possibility of him ending up on the Nets?
I mean, if the Nets can do it, I think it's a great move. It's like 3 egos that are fragile and kind of sensitive, but talent wins in the league, and you figure out how to put those 3 on the court together, and I think you'll be just fine.
They'll probably at least get into the Eastern Conference Finals at that bare minimum.
Yeah, and if everyone stays healthy, and
yeah, so then we're talking.
I think that'd be a great fit for anybody who can get him.
Man, the Rockets
are a player.
The Rockets have really dropped off now. They're starting to. That window is now officially closed. It looks like they were that team there for a while. Case.
The Rockets, man, they had their chance. It sucked. I get it. The 1 year that I thought they really had them, like that year where I was like they're better, was the year that Durant got injured.
I thought they were better the year before.
Really?
Because Paul got hurt and they were like 1 win away from the championship.
Yeah, but and that's the thing that's, I wouldn't say funny, but it's funny as a Warriors fan. It's like, oh, well, if we didn't get hurt, we would have beat y'all. And then they got hurt and they had 2 games to do it and they couldn't do it. So,
yeah.
The Rockets, though, they're going to blow up. It sucks. Houston, we have a problem. It's going to be bad for another 5-6 years.
Because even if Harden stays, it's not going to be like the same there for a while. He's there for 2 more years, so we'll see what happens.
I think the dumbest trade that they made was getting rid of Clint Capella for Covington. It's some other assets, but that was.
Well, I don't think that was the trade, was it?
I know they basically flipped those 2 so they could go small.
I think Capella went to I don't know what the exact trade is, but I know Capella ended up going to Atlanta in that trade. So that's why I didn't think it was Covington, but maybe it was a 3-way trade there. All right, question number 5.
Tyler, speaking of the Rockets, I'd love for the Warriors to somehow snag PJ
Tucker. Yeah, that'd be nice. But he's making too much money, don't you feel like now? Or I
think he's making like $4.5 million. He's on a small contract.
Then that's reasonable for sure. Yeah, they can move somebody to get that. That would be a nice fit. Him and Draymond together. He could shoot a little bit, at times from the corner. So yeah, that'd be a good fit for sure. All right, 5. Tyler, Lakers still seem way ahead, especially after free agency. I don't see anybody touching this team right now. They seem like by far the best team still. You agree?
Yeah, I can't disagree. Yeah.
You can make cases, but it's just like, who's beating them?
As long as Anthony Davis and LeBron are on the floor together.
Yeah, and then you get Schroeder and you get Harrell, and so those are nice pickups. Wes Matthews is a nice pickup as well. Case, question number 6. Top 5 teams right now in the NBA going into next year. Just as of right now, Tyler, you get the second crack at it. We'll just hit them quick. What's your top 5 teams right now in the NBA?
Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Lakers, Clippers, Bucks in that order, and then I'd probably go with the Warriors number 5, and then 4. I still got to go with the Heat. I think they're, I think they're 4.
All right.
I'd just put Denver in there somewhere, and I'd probably take out the Heat.
I got Lakers, Nuggets, Bucks, Clippers, Nets, Warriors. I would have the Warriors
Nets too, and I'd have the Nets in there.
Yeah, I would have the Warriors a little bit higher. Obviously, with
Klay.
Klay not going down. The Clippers is like I still want to see them, but it's like I know a lot of people hate on them, but I'm like they still got Kawhi. They'll probably be motivated again after a coaching change a little bit. Sometimes that can help for a year. So I still don't see them as a top 5 team. All right, last 2 questions here on the Bonanza.
What a bonanza!
What a bonanza! Top. I know you guys don't usually get the NBA package because you guys aren't millionaires, but the NBA packages, you get to watch every single team. What would, as of right now, what are the top 3 teams that you would be like, all right, these are NBA package teams I would want to get? Because they do have a setup now in the NBA package where you can buy like just watch the Bucks, let's say, for $5 or something like that. You could just watch them for a month or something. So for the whole year. So Tyler, what's your top 3 NBA package teams? That Warriors don't count.
Mavericks, Hawks, Nuggets.
Case?
No, my favorite player, Knicks.
No. Yeah, go.
I know. Knicks.
Yeah.
There's no way you're
Take it
choosing
easy,
the
take
Knicks.
it easy. Knicks, Mavericks, and I'm pretty similar on Tyler. I love Luka, so Dallas.
The Knicks are that's a rarity. We like
The
it.
Knicks are in my bottom 1.
I got Nets.
They're the worst.
I got Nets, Suns, and it's tough. It's a tie for right now for me between the Mavs and the Nuggets. But I got the Suns in there because I kind of want to see. I just like watching them play after. I've had the Nuggets and the Mavs in there but I still like the Suns with the Booker and.
Yeah, Suns would be. I forgot about Suns.
After Jokic, and you're like Jokic when you were younger. Fatboy FadeAway.
That's why I like his game so much. It has a little brings back a little
Not
memory there.
Jokic fat, just thick.
He's just a big boy. Bottom 3. Bulls, Knicks, Spurs, and Cavs. Those are probably the 3-4 teams I do not want to really care about watching any games about. Kings, most people would say, but I live in the area, so I don't mind watching the Kings.
Kings are on one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah, I like
just because I like watching Fox and if Bagley can stay healthy.
Yeah, who you guys got?
I got Knicks, Bulls, Lakers.
12 championships. 12
Obviously not the Knicks.
They're on TNT every night anyway, so
that's true. Or ESPN.
Yeah.
It's like I can't watch. I mean, I don't know. The East is so hard to watch.
16 teams,
except the Knicks.
I mean, besides them, because they got Obi Toppin. But
Pacers are tough too.
You're really gonna die on that bed you made.
I think it's gonna be the best pick in the draft, to be honest. But no, to me, it's I can't stand watching Charlotte. I mean, they'll have LaMelo, but Charlotte, to me, the Nuggets, and then probably the Celtics.
The Nuggets.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So much disrespect.
You'd rather watch the Knicks than the Nuggets.
He's just trolling. He's just trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling. I'd rather watch the Knicks and RJ Barrett than Murray and Jokic. Oh my god.
And Otto Porter and Bobo.
People that are watching this is like, all right, Fatboy FadeAway. No, just kidding.
Everyone in New York's like,
yes, we love the passion. We love the desire. Oh, that's good.
The Knicks are the best team.
Well, that's our bonanza for the week. The questions we got.
What a bonanza it was!
What a bonanza it was, gentlemen. We got the season actually, the preseason starting up here in about 2-3 weeks. So get ready. We'll be talking a lot of NBA. We all like it here on the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast. Please leave a comment or look for us on Twitter with anything you like from today's NBA segment. We'll be back with the NFL and our 5 picks.
when we're golfing, please.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Fatboy FadeAway here. We're here with the NFL segment here. Week 11, division races heating up. NFL, it's still anybody's game at this point. Flanagan and I had a horrible week. Gambling-wise, we did have the Dolphins win, so that's my little roundup there. I'm loving at Clinton High Shoes support online with the Dolphins pick. I appreciate that. Keep that up. And Yeah, I lost all my parlays. So it was a horrible week last week. This week, I'm not doing any parlays. I'm picking one game, and I'm sticking with it. But we'll get into that more in the gambling segment. So, Tyler, what were your initial thoughts? Week 11. Anything stand out to you, NFL wise?
The Bucs got back on track. They looked a lot better. What a game we looked ahead to in that Arizona and
Thank you.
Bills game. Good pick.
Thank you.
That was all-time great game.
It really was.
Just they're spectacular.
And
Both teams, like Stephon Diggs did his thing to win the game for the Bills, and then Kyler and Hopkins.
So let's look at that game. Let's just jump right ahead to it. Since you jumped into the game like that, let's go right to the "Let's Go for Two" segment. Is Murray an MVP candidate? Like, is he the flat out MVP front runner right now? After that Hail Mary play where he gets, sometimes those are the type of plays that lead to these awards in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These kind of seasons.
The memorable moments.
Yeah, I mean, he only throws for 245, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he runs 11 times, 61 yards for 2 touchdowns. Is he the favorite? And also Tyler with Allen. I know you're a big Bills fan too. Is like,
I don't know about big. Supporter.
They support him. Have they both kind of surprised you a little bit? So is he the MVP favorite? And where's Murray and Allen? Because I didn't expect that from both of them coming out in the first round, even though they were
favorite. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's a favorite, especially after this Thursday night game where they lost to Seattle. But Josh Allen is the thing that surprised me about Murray is last year, his rookie year, he didn't run like this. I thought I was like, maybe he's not that fast or something. Maybe he was just college fast. One of those guys who could outrun linebackers in college and like look super fast. In the NFL, he's kind of just this average. But this year, he's dynamic, like we expected, and he's throwing the ball good, and he's has that moment, like that feel for the game when you need to make a big play, like you were saying last week, where he just brings people up with him for the most part. And so Allen's kind of just blown my mind since I thought he was going to be a bum when they drafted him. Like, who's this guy? Like some big-bodied quarterback who fits the bill, but
he kind of feels unorthodox when you watch him play, though. Allen.
Yeah, he plays crazy.
Yeah,
he's kind of like he runs around. And
Case, you're faster than both me and Tyler. So, or you were at one point in your life. Maybe I'm faster now. Who does? No, I'm just kidding. But you got to be impressed with Murray's. Like, I mean, his lateral quickness is what impresses me the most when he's running. Like, he literally feels like he moves 3 yards laterally and doesn't lose. He's like just running like sideways, just as fast as he would forward. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, no, it is cool to watch him. Like, I'm like, man, this is how you guys felt chasing me. I feel bad, but
oh, come on, Doug.
Hey, for real. But no, just watching him play, man, it's a joy to watch, man. It's a pleasure. Like, people are like Russell Wilson 2.0. I'm like, nah, he better than Russell Wilson. They're like, I can't be, not yet. He made 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. But you got to remember, he's almost 10 years younger than him. And he's on pace to break Cam Newton's rushing touchdown record right now, which is insane for being, quote unquote, a small guy. But to me, like, he's got a better arm. I mean, we all know this. I mean, especially me being like, 3 different type athlete, playing baseball, football, and soccer, and, just being prestige at all those sports, when you can see someone doing what he's doing out there and sling that football.
There is Google out there, everybody. There is Google out there. There is Google out there to look all this information up. Continue.
Hey, sometimes you ain't going to recognize it at the park unless you don't go to the park. So, hey.
Continue.
No, that Hail Mary was just ridiculous, man. It was literally Aaron Rodgers-esque when he just roll into that side and throw across the body. I mean, it literally, like, they're like, oh, it looks like a baseball player. I'm like, yeah, he was a baseball player. Now, like, him and Russell Wilson were drafted, top in the.
I think he's got more natural
first round, second round, third round. Wilson. But yeah, no, it's just, man, he's a beast, dude. He's gonna be a beast for a while. We're gonna have some problems in the NFL.
he's just got, to me, like he is kind of like Wilson. He just has more natural ability than Wilson has. So he's going to be really good. So yeah, that was a good game for us to look at. And so I just wanted to revisit that game. And yeah, that Hopkins catch, we can't forget about that. What a great catch by him as well. Jumping up at the highest peak to get in and holding it on the way down was really impressive.
I gotta ask this, Darren. So people are saying, was it a better throw or a better catch?
Well, to me, it's always a better catch in a situation like that. Usually, to me, I expect the quarterback to throw that. I mean, to me, the most impressive part was him getting out of the pocket. Like that was the most. Getting out of the pocket, nobody else would have been able to. He would have 95% of those quarterbacks would have been sacked. So that's to me where he made the best play. The throw itself, to me, like most quarterbacks, I think can make that throw. Maybe not on the perfect all the time, but what I mean is they can throw it that far. You know what I mean? That's, I guess, what I mean by it. So, but none of them can make that escape. That escape he made was ridiculous. That was an insane escape to get out of there. Hey, T, about him, I saw some stuff online about he wanted to possibly play. He just kind of brings up the fact that like he kind of would still play baseball if it was almost allowed in a sense, like if he could do it. And like, I don't know. For some reason, when I watch him play, it's not even, I think he would be like an unreal baseball player. I know he plays for the A's, but it's other players like this too I've always had a problem with. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like we miss out on something, especially a guy like him, the Deons, the Bows, like these guys are like the rare athletes where it's like, I kind of wish we could see them try it. That's all.
Yeah, I'd love to watch him play like baseball.
I just think like he would be.
I think he's not telling the truth. I don't think he's being held back. I'm sure he could find a way to play baseball if he really wanted to.
I think the Cardinals would put a lot of contract stipulations in there, and that's probably what he would be risking. Probably, I guess, and that's maybe you're right. Maybe that is where it's his fault. If you really wanted to, he could risk that stuff and play baseball. You're probably right. You're right. That would probably be how he would have to make that work. All right, let's look ahead to. We'll wrap up the look ahead segment here. We'll kind of make this one a little bit quicker. Chiefs at Vegas, I feel like is the best game this week on Sunday night. Raiders do get 7 of their 12 starters back from the COVID list. So they do get
starters. There's only 11 starters.
Or 7 of 12 main guys. 7 of their top 12 guys, I should say. Sorry, I said that wrong. You're right. 12 starters. No wonder they are 6-3 this year. Their defenses look better. So Chiefs are 8-1. Raiders 6-3. Chiefs are 8.5 point favorite for the one I got. 57 over. Raiders, like I said, got the guys back. They beat the Chiefs last time 40-32 in Arrowhead. The bad news for the Raiders is Andy Reid is 18-3 coming off of a bye, which the Chiefs are doing this week, which is just an insane record. I do kind of like the Raiders to hang tough in this game, though. I do think the Raiders will. I don't think they're going to win it. I know that's me being pessimistic as usual, but I do think they're going to like surprise a little people and hang into it. So, Case, how do you think the Raiders can pull this off?
Well, we got to do what they did last week. And people are like, "Oh, the Raiders got off to a good start." I'm like, they were down 14-3. It's not a good start. I mean, they got up 3-0, but I think they got to take big shots down the field. You got to run the ball after you get that lead. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Booker, which I touched on last week, he's a beast right now. And then, you got to get solid front four. You just get pressure on Mahomes and
keep away.
I mean, that's really all you can do. And, in shootouts, they're a little above 500, which is kind of ridiculous. You'd think the Chiefs blow everybody out. But once they get in shootouts, their defense is pretty, I wouldn't say great, but they're porous, Yeah. So, if you can get them in a shootout, I think they got a chance.
Tyler, your thoughts on the game? And I kind of want to get yours. Go ahead.
But I think the key for the Raiders to win this game is the maxi pad. Max Crosby has to just harass Mahomes.
He's been pretty good as a defensive end.
He is good. He's been very good. He was very good as rookie year. He's been good this year.
It's funny how those fourth round.
He's better than Farrell, which is like
fourth pick overall.
Yeah, exactly.
Eastern Michigan. No. Am I right?
Huh?
Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was Central, but it might be Eastern.
Maybe it's Central Michigan too. One of the Michigan.
Remember, I sent you that video about him with the Colin Tower.
Yes. Colin, a little shout out there to you. So yes, we like that right there. Tyler, you mentioned the other day, like you thought Gruden was possibly, he's kind of proven he's a top coach. What did you mean by that?
His offense just knows it. It's always able to run the ball, like in a weird, like back to Kaufman and Wheatley and Gardner and now Jacobs.
Napoleon Kaufman gets a shout.
Talking about Gruden's this coaching ability to be able to just always be able to run the ball and like build an offensive line. He went to Tampa Bay, got a little pass happy, and that's when he like started losing. Like
can't get past.
Once he won that Super Bowl, and
can't get past happy with Brad Johnson. Yeah, they do. He does have an element, and he has kind of like that Harbaugh effect in the NFL, where I felt like the Niners, when he was in his prime with the Niners, like they'd have those creative runs too, where you have a guard swinging one way and a tackle movement, so they kind of like confuses the defensive line. So yeah, he does do a really good job on that. So Case, I know for us, if the Raiders go to 7-3, we all three had them making the playoffs, but. I think we would all say we'd be a little shocked if they were 7-3 and had beat the Chiefs twice at this point going into the year. So, and that would put them one game behind the Chiefs and owning the tiebreaker. So that would give them a huge advantage.
And I believe the only team that beat Mahomes twice is the Patriots in 1 year.
I love and what was it? Darren Dorado a few weeks back sent that little great little gif of Gruden giving me the eye. So maybe he's on to something with the Raiders being the fourth best team. I was saying the Dolphins.
Let's go Raiders, baby. Let's go Raiders.
Big game today. Big night game. So we haven't had a night game in a while. All right, dump and run
in
segment.
Vegas.
In Vegas, viva Las Vegas. Dump and run segment. 3 questions in somewhat 30 seconds. I'm going to call it now.
You blame that on Tyler.
I'm going to blame it on everybody. It's all right. Question number 1: best Thanksgiving day, because again, it is Thanksgiving week here, and it is my favorite holiday. Best Thanksgiving Day football game memory and why. I will start us off. See if you can come up with another one. My favorite one, just because I was watching on TV, is Leon Lett, of course, running in 1993, I think it was, maybe 4, touching that football unnecessarily in the snow, leading to the Dolphins getting another chance to win the game, and they kicked the field goal to win it. And I just remember them going to Troy Aikman's face on the sideline. It was just disbelief. It was like, I know Aikman didn't think he could beat him up, but I think Aikman wanted to try for at least 1 minute there to see if he could beat up good old Leon there. So that's my Thanksgiving football day memory. Tyler, do you have one?
Mine is not even really. It's the coin toss between the Steelers and the Cowboys with Phil Luckett.
That's
and
a
Jerome
great
Bettis calling tails and Phil saying he called heads. And I just remember watching it going, what the heck is going on? Why is there money on this? Why is he not giving the ball to the Steelers?
And Tyler, I think on that video too, as he says it, like he says heads, he goes, no, I said tails. Like as it's coming back down in the air. It's like one of those things you don't do when you're lying. Like he was just kind of like a natural. He's like, no, I said tail. Like because he said it in the air. It's not like he waited for it to hit the ground.
I remember him going back to the sidelines talking to. He's like, I said tails. I don't know what's going
on. Casey, you got one? That's a
good one. It's kind of crazy. People I was hella young. I was 10, I believe, at the time, and I was like, man, this guy's pretty good. And I was like, oh yeah, 1997, and they had Herman Moore, and they actually put up the most points on a Thanksgiving game was the Detroit Lions versus the Bears. They had 55-20 against the Bears, and I was like,
was Scotty Too Hotty Mitchell the quarterback?
Scotty Too Hotty, yeah, number 19, man. But
the old lefty.
Yeah, no, it's
he kind of reminds me of Steve Young too.
Sanders was awesome. Sanders was awesome on Thanksgiving Day because we had that game's at 9:00 West Coast time, so we would have to get up early to watch Big Barry play on the Thanksgiving Day.
If I could have watched Barry Sanders for my whole life, man, God, it would have changed my life. I got to see him once a year, and that was good enough for me.
Well, if you worried, the Lions fans would say to you, yes, but you would say you need a quarterback the whole time at the end of that career. He needs a quarterback.
Hey,
all right.
Real quick though, how many yards do you think he would have killed Emmitt Smith by?
I think he would have got over by at least 1,000.
1,000? I think.
Well, 5, Smith ended up with a lot.
Well, he
So-
played for a decade longer.
Well, you asked if he played
Basically.
longer, so maybe that's what I was thinking.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, he might have had a lot more. That's
Best running
possible.
back in NFL history.
Most exciting. All right, question number 2. What is your favorite part or memory of Thanksgiving? My kind of part sport. I have the sports related. Mine is being able to watch these lame because it's Thanksgiving break, whatever. You eat your turkey, you eat your food. You're still like young. Your family's down there having a good time.
We're all tired.
Drinking their beverages. You go upstairs. You're watching TV. Casey would go up with us once in a while, and so we're up there watching the Alaska Shootout, like all these like random like college basketball tournaments. There'd be like all these like great like college basketball tournaments on that I would just love watching, like that nobody else in the world would probably be watching, but like me and their families. And then the other one I have is Jamal Tinsley got like 23 assists, 27 assists on a Thanksgiving Day game when the NBA used to have
I was watching that with you.
Yeah. They had like a huge game. He had a huge like 23, 25 assist game on Thanksgiving Day. So those are my favorite memories from Thanksgiving.
Jamal Tinsley. I never thought I'd hear that name again.
Well, you did. Congratulations. Out of Iowa State, lost to Hampton University. All right. What do you guys got? Good
My favorite moment is this. I used to go to my grandparents, who, rest in peace, had like this land, and there was these leaves. We played football on these leaves with my cousins, and it always ended up in a big fight. And just like one of the cousins would be throwing punches at each other, and just getting together with my family, and it was all love.
Who was the most competitive member of that family?
It was more who would just take a cheap shot. And I don't know. We were all competitive.
Oh, well, good. You want to throw anybody under the bus? I can respect.
No.
All right, Case, favorite part memory.
I mean, there's a bunch, man. We can go around. 33 years. There's a lot to remember, but I think it was about when the
30
NFL.
seconds.
Yeah, the NFL had just started their network, and I remember Jay Holbert. We know him, our family. He goes, "Hey, Bob, like, trying to watch the Thanksgiving game, like, how cheap are you? You got this big house, you can't afford NFL Network?"
Oh yeah, because they used to have the game on NFL Network. That's right.
The night game.
Right. It was the Saints. It was the Saints versus the Eagles. You're right. And I remember my dad buying NFL Network that night. I was like, yes.
Who said that? Who's Jay? Do I know Jay?
Yeah, he's my mom's cousin. But I was like, yeah. Well, it wasn't just him. Like, it was like all of us wanted to watch the game, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Great idea, Dad. I think it's only like $8 a month. You'll be fine. You're good off the retirement package. So you're good. All right.
To me, that's my favorite though.
That's a good one,
Dad,
Case.
Dad, and he was just like, I don't want to buy it.
I don't want to buy that NFL Network. Damn it. Pam, your family.
Damn in-laws.
Last one. Favorite Thanksgiving food, dessert, or drink? Well, drink. I think we all know what our favorite drinks are, but favorite food and dessert. I'll go first again. I got stuffing as favorite food. My mother's Hershey pie as dessert. Thank you, Mother. Love you out there. And I know you're one of the true subscribers out there, so we appreciate that.
Wouldn't let her have a spot on the podcast.
And then apple cider, sparkling apple cider. Is the non-adult beverage I enjoy the most. All right, Case, you're up.
Oh man, I love Mom's Hershey pie, man. That's the best.
So you got that dessert too?
Oh yeah. Right. To me, the turkey leg, I gotta have that leg, man.
The Fred Flintstone leg.
I like my woman like I like my turkey dark, but
God. What is...
I thought you were gonna say thick.
Well, that too.
I don't know if either's. I don't know. We'll see how either plays out. But
that's my favorite.
All right. So Casey likes dark meat, and he likes turkey pie.
I'm with Casey though. I do like the brown turkey, but not the white turkey. It's too dry but my favorite thing is I like it all except for get that green bean casserole and the sweet potatoes away from me and just dump gravy on that shit, and that shit's delicious.
Dude,
then you're right. The apple cider just hits the spot, and then a couple beverages. and then put me to bed.
Oh,
Tyler's
man.
not stayed up for the Alaska shootout.
No, that turkey knocks me out.
The best Alaska shootouts, I remember when Duke was in it one year just because they recruited, what was the guy from
Faison
Alaska?
Langdon.
Yeah. And I feel like they had somebody else that got from Alaska one time.
Boozer.
Boozer. All right. So that was our dump and run segment. That was fun, guys. All right. Let's finish it up with the gambling segment. I was pathetic last week. 1-4. Casey, you were 1-4. Tyler,
Not
you were
going first.
You were 3-2. The only thing I salvaged last week is the Dolphins won overall. The Buffalo Bills lost. So now on that bet I put in for the Dolphins to win the division. They're only one game back. So that's the only benefit of last week. All right, here's my 5 picks. And then Casey, you can go, and then we'll let Tyler finish it up for us. Clint, get those picks in. Come on, let's go. You send them in too late that I can't get them in on time. So, all right. Browns. I got Browns at they're 2.5-point favorites over the Eagles. I don't know. Wentz just seems like a turnover machine at this point. And I know I like the Browns in that one. And I don't usually like the Browns very often. But I do like the Browns in that game. Pittsburgh 10.5 over Jacksonville. I think Pittsburgh's due for a blowout game. So I like Pittsburgh in that one. Chargers over the Jets. I feel like the Chargers are also kind of due for a win and maybe a big win. They've been playing all these close games, but I feel like the Jets are maybe that perfect opponent to break out and have a big week against. And so I like them. They're playing well on offense too. Chiefs versus Raiders. The over is 57, kind of a high number, but like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to be really motivated off a bye. So I could see them easily getting 35 points. So hopefully the Raiders can get a little bit on the other end. Last game, I got the Rams in Tampa Bay. It seems like a small number to me, but it's 48. I got the over there. I think that should be able to go over. I know obviously the Rams have a good defensive line, and Tampa Bay's defense could be good as well.
Looks like we have lost Darren. Tyler, what about you?
Riveting stuff there. Those were good picks.
What about you, T? What do you got going on?
For my picks?
Yeah. Darren's he's out. Yeah, we're cutting him off. Yeah,
I'm
those
back.
picks were so terrible.
There he
Okay.
All right. You were at the Rams and being offensive or having good defenses.
I think God is giving me a sign. I will move on. I had the over at 48. Go ahead. Next one up.
All right. Casey, you're up.
Nah, you go ahead, man. My internet's like Darren. It's a little slow right now.
All right. I got the Chiefs over the Raiders at -7.5, coming off a bye. Andy Reid coming off a bye, and I think they got revenge on their mind. So I'm taking the Chiefs. At the Packers, getting 1.5 against the Colts. Rodgers is greater than Rivers, so I'm going Packers. I got the Titans at +6, getting 6 against the Ravens. Did we watch the playoffs last year? I did. I'm taking the Titans. Cowboys versus Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings -7. Cowboys have a quarterback who I've never heard of in my life. I don't know.
Is it still the Garrett guy?
Yeah, I don't know who he is, where he came from. It's like
he looked all right, though.
It's like watching a high school game, being like, all right, this quarterback's pretty good. Who is he? But taking the Vikings.
Poor Frankie.
And then Chargers versus Jets. Chargers just always let you down. I'm taking Big Joe Flacco to cover
3 weeks in a row. I like it. 3 weeks in a row. I like it. Taking
9.5 Jets.
3 weeks in a row taking the
I'm
Jets.
1-1.
You are. You gotta like that. Case, who you got?
Got us screwed on this. The internet shut down on me, and I had all the pics on here, so all I can see is a picture of your son with our cousin Carson.
Well, I'm sure you did your homework ahead of time and wrote them down. So who do you got there?
You know how I do. I'm always prepared. I will take the Raiders. I have them actually winning this game. And then
That's not a homer pick if I've ever heard one.
No, right? Yeah. And then I'm going with Tyler, but I'm taking the Jets to cover, not to win, but to cover.
All right.
And then I got what was it, the Vikings
against the Cowboys?
Cowboys, yeah, excuse me. And then
you have the Vikings or the Cowboys?
I have the Vikings, yeah.
Okay.
And then What was the other one I had? Was the damn, this sucks, man. I'm brutal right now. My internet shut down. I had it all 5 in front of me. But
He had it. Did he have it on?
I'm going with the Eagles.
Just name a random time. Name a random team. Maybe they'll be on
Eagles
a
and the
bye.
Titans. Eagles and the Titans. Eagles
I
and the
wanted.
Titans.
I wanted you
Eagles
to
and
take
the
the.
Titans. Eagles
All
and the
right,
Titans.
Eagles.
Eagles.
I really wanted you to take the Niners. That's what I wanted.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb.
I wanted you to take the Niners on that one. But
No.
Breath of fresh air this week. No game. Yes. Yes.
So,
have to watch it.
everyone take my picks because I don't know what the hell I'm picking. So you got to trust me because every other week I knew what I was picking. So this week should work out just right.
And if you're still watching us after that part of it, thank you very much for sticking with us after that part of that about that thing. All right,
Goddamn internet, man.
all right, so
Google
good
Chrome,
job.
Google Chrome.
Good job, guys.
Paper and pen. It works
Paper and
every
pen, buddy.
time.
Do your homework ahead of time. All right, so a good way, guys, wrapping it up this week. Follow Tyler, Twitter, at Tyler MGUIRK. He tweets at least a couple times a week, so at least get into him. He'll start to get into it a little bit more.
Love to argue.
Loves to argue. So make your opinions made there. Casey, I don't know if he uses it as much, but he's at Casey 950-143-216, area code 702. So he's over there at that number. And then of course we're at Fatboy FadeAway. I'll be out there tweeting today during the games. And again, subscribe to us at our videos there. And also check out some of our other pods we like. I don't know, Shooting the Sportish and the Old Farts pod. Those are also some good podcasts to check out as well.
And we have an Instagram at
Yes.
Fatboy FadeAway also.
Yeah. Tyler, you'll be doing that one a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We run that one a little bit. So good. All right. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving out there. Enjoy the games this week, Thursday, guys, and have a safe one. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
Peace.